Hello everyone! Today I will explain two types of text that we learned in grade 11 English, which are analytical exposition text and personal letter text. In this presentation, we will look at the definitions, structure, language features, and example of how these texts work. This is the first material, analytical exposition text. An analytical exposition text is a text that expresses the writer's idea or opinion about a topic. The purpose of this text is to persuade the readers that the opinion is important or worth considering. The social function of an analytical exposition is to convince the readers. In other words, the writer wants the readers to agree with their point of view by presenting logical arguments. An analytical exposition text has three main parts. The first part is the thesis, where the writer introduces the topic and states their position or point of view. The second part is arguments, where the writer explains several reasons to support the opinion. And the last part is reiteration, which is the conclusion that repeats the writer's main idea and strengthens it. An analytical exposition has several common language features. It usually uses the simple present tense because it talks about general facts or opinions. It also uses relational verbs such as is, or become to make statements. The text focuses on general participants, not specific individuals, and it uses connective words to link arguments and show relationship between ideas. Before we move on to the next material, I will also explain how an analytical exposition usually ends. In the conclusion part, the writer repeats their main idea and strengthens their opinion. There are several expressions we can use to conclude an analytical exposition. These expressions help signal to the reader that the argument has finished and the writer wants to restate the final point. Now we move on to the second material, personal letters. A personal letter is a letter written to someone we know personally, such as a friend or a family member. The purpose is usually to share experience, feelings, news, or personal message. The social function of a personal letter is to maintain personal relationship. Through letters, we can stay connected, express emotions, show care, and communicate informally with people close to us. A personal letter has a simple structure. It begins with the heading, which includes the writer's address and date. Next is the salutation, such as Dear Anna. Then comes the body, which contains the opening, the main message, and the closing sentence. After that, we add the closing, like love or sincerely, followed by the signature, which is the writer's name. Sometimes there is also a postscript or PS, used to add an extra message. In personal letters, the language is usually informal and friendly. We often use personal pronouns like I, you, and we. We may use present or past tense depending on what we're talking about. Personal letters also use expressions of feelings such as I miss you, I'm happy for you, or I hope you're doing well. And it's common to use contractions like I'm, don't, and can to make the tone more natural. When opening a personal letter, we can use phrases like how are you, I hope you're fine, or it's been a long time since we last talked. To close the letter, we can say things like take care, write back soon, or I hope to hear from you soon. These expressions help make the letter sound warm and friendly. Before we end the presentation, here are short examples of analytical exposition text and personal text. Alright guys, that is all for my explanation about analytical exposition and personal letter. Thank you for listening.